Um, so I had been researching a bit. I was looking up Ghosts and Goblins, the board game. There is a Ghosts and Goblins board game. The same people who made the Legend of Zelda board game in '86, right? Not the Milton Bradley or Parker Brothers, whatever it is. Milton Bradley, I think it was. Right? Not that stuff. This is something else. Okay. Now I did get these off a website, so I did not make game, but I did see this on a website. I don't know if I feel comfortable disclosing such website because you know what Nintendo likes to do. They like to shut down things, even though these are scans. So we're going to be looking at these scans, and I don't know when and if I will be printing out some of this stuff so I can actually like show or do a demo of this board game. So we're taking a look at Game Comic, right? Metroid game. So this is the Metroid game. I can't read Japanese very quickly. I would have to take forever to translate, but we won't have to. So this is a board game. There are a series of board games that can fit like well a little bit bigger than this magnifying glass. Okay, somewhere between the size of this magnifying glass and the size of my tablet is a little box. You open up the box. In fact, I could say if I could give it an accurate clue, diced. It's very similar to that. Like a little box. I would say this is like a what 5.5 by 5.5 inch square inch box. It's about 2.5 inches tall. Somebody bugging me. I live in a condominium, so I have to watch everybody. Everybody within like fucking distance of me. So it's a little box, right? And in this little box, you have little components. So that's what these are, okay? But they're obviously cardboard paper box. So a little cover. So what we're going to look at a few scans here. This is the board game. There's actually a two-part board game series. So this is just one half of an actual like two-part series of board games. So what you are looking at is the entire board, which looks very similar to, of course, Metroid, the first game that came out in '86. And I mean, I like the look of it. It's like looking at a Castlevania map. This is playing Metroid without 8-bit pixels, without getting cables and cords out, paying like $100 for a Famicom or a Nintendo 8-bit system, and then you're just playing it and you're using different game pieces. Now I have lots of game pieces. I have lots of assets I can flip to play this game, so it's not the problem. The problem is understanding it, which we'll get to in a moment. So I wanted to share this with you, and so let's. Oh, hold on. Let's do it this way. So let me show here. This is the final boss battle. This is the final boss battle. So we got Ridori, right? And Kureido. To Taiketsu. Taiketsu, like monster, I think. Ruredo. Okay, so these are the two final bosses that you get to see. Now, I don't have little figurines for these guys, I think, or something like it, but I could take a look around. But yeah, so this is board side A, side B. So there's the game box again, and here we have the back of it. And so there's all these little components. So let me see for a moment. Let's see what we got in here. So here you can see the different kinds of games that Bandai made. Okay, now they made some games. Some of the I've been looking at that website like 50 times, and they've had like games that are similar to the classic 8-bit games like Clue Clue Land or Urban Champion or some of the like Excite Bike. And there is an Excite Bike board game in the list of things. So I'm looking at this stuff. I don't want to call too much attention to the website, like I say, because I don't want nothing to get taken down for right now. There's part two of Metroid that's in here. Part one. So part one is here. Part two is here. Uh, you got Super Mario Brothers parts one and two. Okay, so this one deals with underwater. I don't think I've seen this one listed, but the part one is listed. Over here we got what is that one? Dragon game or Dracula game? So there's a Dracula game, and I think this is like Castlevania almost. Yeah, this is fucking Castlevania. There's actually a couple of haunted house Dracula games that are very similar to Castlevania. It is not Castlevania though, but these two are Castlevania. These two right here are Castlevania. But I did not see Castlevania. Most of them are kind of the same. They have a little spinner, and you spin the little wheel, and that's how that game works. So I just saw this because I said, I wonder if they ever even fucking attempted to try to make games like this. Here are the little game pieces, I think. Enemies you encounter. You shuffle the cards. So let's see what you got here. Shima. Okay. Ice. Ice beam. Okay, you need an ice beam. You need an ice beam also for Shriek. Okay. Zip. This one you need some sort of fire beam or hyper beam or bow. Yeah, some sort of hyper beam. Uh, Riba. Riba is that little. This one here. This one at the top right. Um, Tao Se Nai. Tao Se Nai. I'm not sure. Maybe you can't take them out. Some of these enemies you can't take out. I think. Charge beam. I think for this one. This is Waiba. Weba. Let's see. Mero. This one requires either it's a morph. I think that's a morph ball effect. Maybe. These are like special weapons at the bottom, I think. I'm not sure. Uh, Ryo Shira Gika. Giga Mame Saido Hoba. And Kosakureido. Kosakureid. Oh, yeah, so there's Kraid. So there's special items. And you can see to the right here, all these special items here. So that you use. So there's missiles. There's different things you can do here. And I like at the very core what it's doing. So that's not too bad. Okay, so there's a couple more things. Here's the spinner for it. Here's the spinner. And so you have different items, different enemies. And we'll look at the rules in just a moment because I want to share that. And there's the back. There's all the special. What is this? Goma Gado Urui na Dono Komakai Fuhin o Nakusa na Iyo ni Iremasho. Iremasho. I don't know. I'm trying to read stuff. Let's look at the rules. All right, let's take a look at the box first. Game comic, Metroid game, Brinstar Norfair Edition, Fight Samus. This is part one. Finish off Ridley and Kraid. Box back. 6 types in all, intended for ages 6 and so this is like what these Bandai little box games are for little kids who are like, I don't know, elementary school age, like maybe like 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade to us in the United States. If they're like little school, right? So they're like ages 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, before they're 12. They just play these little games that's after school or maybe during lunch break or whatever. That's what it's really about. So 6 types in all, intended for ages 6. And so here you got Super Mario Brothers 2 game part 1, part 2, Metroid game part 1, part 2, Akumajo Dracula game. So there's a Dracula game that I got some scans for that. So I can always print this out. Other fine print legal information omitted. we don't worry about no stinking legal information. We don't worry about that. That's for chumps. Okay. Metroid, how to play. So part 1, so to mother and father, father and mother, please read this manual carefully and teach your children. So they're very thoughtful in Japanese. Onegashimasu. Please read this carefully. Unfold the game board and place it so that, let's see, what are we saying here? Side A, detach. So this is for the spinner, right? You turn the battle cards face down, shuffle them well, and then place them beside the game board. Turn the item chips face down so you get item chips. Did we see the item chips? Let me see for those item chips. Yeah, these are item chips. This is for the second one, but I'll show part 2 another time. But this is for part 1. You can easily use these for part 1 and part 2 of Metroid. Each person chooses their game piece. So the game pieces look like little pegs. They don't look like anything special. I have figurines that look better than that, so I'll use those next time. Each person chooses their game piece, places on the start space. Start the game clockwise order, and from the person who won, rock paper scissors or Jinkanpon. So it's a Jinkanpon, I think, whatever, however it's done. So you assemble this stuff. You assemble the spinner. Then you assemble. Then you look at the item chips. Where you're going to put your item chips. How to play. Spin the roulette and advance your game piece by the number that appears. Advance in one direction. You may not make a U-turn in the middle of movement. Also, you must always stop in dead-end spaces. If you arrive at a numeral space, you may stop. Even if you have moves remaining from your spin, you will receive the item chip that matches the number in that space. If you stop on a star space, you will battle a monster. Okay, that's pretty cool. I like how this is going. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So how to move your pieces. So briefly shows you how to move. You don't even need electricity. You don't need to plug in anything. You don't need smart devices. You don't even need like a 4-bit processor like Simon. All you have to do is just look at this. Look how this goes. So there's your cards. There's how you're battling. So pretty ingenious. I like how this is going. Uh, Battle method. Flip over one battle card, spin the roulette once. If win appears, you win. If loss appears, you lose. However, when there is an item picture on the bottom of the battle card, if you have that same item chip, you win regardless of whether you spin on the roulette. If cannot be killed is written on the bottom left of the battle card, which is that one card I showed you. That one that says you lose regardless of what you spin. So there's like that one enemy. It's like drawing the ace of spades, like when I play some of my board games. When you win, spin the roulette again in advance. When you lose, your next turn rests one turn. Once all the item chips on the game board run out, the side A game ends. And so we go to the purple side and look at the bosses. So you finish off Ridley and Kraid. So you go to side B and arrange the remaining 4 item chips on the numeral spaces the same as you did for side A. Place everyone's game piece on the battle Brinstar underground start space and start from the player who took the last item chip on side A. So you're going through the maze, and I'll show you at the end. But game board. Okay, so these are the contents: game board, battle cards, 14 item chips, 4 game pieces, roulette wheel, components box, instruction manual. So you advance game pawns the same way. Let me see here. Okay, you advance the pawns the same way as side A. The star numeral space rules are also the same. You must stop at the battle Kraid space. Follow the instructions on the game board and battle. When someone defeats Kraid, the side B game briefly ends there, and everyone proceeds once more to the side A. Okay. At the same time, return the item chips. Once the item A, so you're going back from A to B, start from the North Fair, and then you missed up at the Battle Ridley. So you go from A to B. So let me see how we do this. Let me take a look at this really quick. So we got these things here. Outcome. The person who defeated Ridley takes first place, and the person who defeated Kraid takes second place. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Special rules. You'll mix together battle cards. Okay, so let me see if I can explain this. So you're going around. There's different stars. You can see that here are the star spaces, these yellow ones right there. So you move around the board. You're fighting enemies. And at some point, you go to side B, this one here. And then Kraid is here. I think, yeah, Kraid is there. And then Ridley is up here. I think this little darker pink box, magenta, light magenta. So you go through these little mazes, and there's these different cards here. So it's good to have all these instructions to figure out everything. So that's it. That's what the Metroid board game looks like, part 1 of Metroid. There's different ones in there, Zelda, Donkey Kong Jr., Excite Bike. There's other ones that look like 8-bit classics. There's the Dracula Castle one. I cannot find Castlevania board game, but I'm sure it's very similar to what I've already seen before. So I'll be on the lookout for those kind of instructions and scans. But I mean, this is like looking back at the classics when we get past the PlayStation 5 and the latest quad-core, quinta-core graphics, holographic things that we see, holographic tables. We go back to simple paper and pen and moving things around. So that's all I want to show you. Stay tuned for more.